There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this mic. Just
Can you check the levels on that?
no, it's just a team respect. Last time I slept with so many people in a house, I was like 17 and we had a party, and then it was like everybody was there.
It's not like that every night.
Welcome everybody. Okay, thank you so much to everyone that's here, that's watching our first episode of The Walking Botanika. It is a huge pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited, obviously. So please tell us, what is your name?
Okay, my name is Kate. Well, most people know me as Katie. My full name is actually Katlin.
And your childhood nickname?
Childhood nickname. I didn't really have many. It was like primary school. There were two Katlakos in one class. One got called Kat, but defaulted to KT.
Just say, my name is Daisy. My full name is actually Margarida. Means Daisy in English, so that's where Daisy actually comes from. So please tell us about your occupation.
And so I am a bassist for a metal band called No Closure. I do have what most would consider a day job as well. But
so your band is like your passion project?
Essentially, it's four guys that like really get along. We were friends first. So being in a band, it's always important to have someone there that like you can trust.
Yeah. Some people have been like on the bad side of it, and other people have been on the good side of it.
And it's happened to myself as well. Relationships have gone sour because friendship aspect wasn't necessarily there. And that like, you know what guys, I don't know if I can make practice today. I'm having a bit of an off day. And having them be able to understand that you feel safe, and when you feel safe, and when you are safe, it's that extra boost of like, I want to do better for my three other friends because they're there for me.
Yeah, it creates that constant flow of like support without being demanding on another person. Obviously we have to ask about your relationship status, because I know that there's gonna be people that's gonna ask.
I am as single as can be.
Is there a reason behind that? Or
I decided actually, let me just take a moment, like not entertain anyone or anything. Literally maybe in the last 3 to 6 months where I decided, okay, maybe I'll put myself out there again.
Hear that? Do you know what your zodiac sign is?
I don't know. I've been told I am on a cusp. I grew up thinking that it was the Taurus sign.
No, it's like right in the middle, so you get aspects of both sides.
Okay.
But I will talk more about that like as we go. Otherwise, I'm gonna go off on a tangent, because obviously I'm super into astrology and crystals and everything. So truth or dare?
I'm gonna go with truth.
Highlight your absolute favorite moment from your most recent show.
Woo! Absolute favorite moment. So it was in Jeffreys Bay. For a moment, myself and Carl, who's my guitarist, like we kind of had a moment where we kind of like laid on each other's like shoulders, and then like sang the lyrics to each other while playing, and I was like, that was such a cool moment.
Oh my goodness, that's so really special. Cool. If you happen to have any clips maybe of the show, I'm gonna insert it highlights from the most recent show, so you can also see the vibe. Now we're gonna get a little serious now. How I actually ended up approaching you was because Melanie ended up telling me about you, and that she had known you for quite some time, and even in your first band. So I would love to hear a little bit about your first band. What was the name, and what was like the motivations that led to the creation of that band?
Okay. First band had 2 names. Guys, please don't take it. No, we've kept this first name top secret.
Getting the wild tea now, guys.
So the first band name was actually Dementophobia.
Okay.
Which is a fear of going insane. I was around 16, 17. I'm a Sergio de Cruz. Shout out Sergio. He was studying music with a bunch of peeps, and they needed a bassist, and I had previously played in a band with him, but that was like teenage band. Well, I guess I was still a teenager at the time.
It's more exploration than
exactly,
anything else.
Yes. He pulled me into this band where everyone was studying music, and I didn't really have any formal training at the time. My friend Chad Knight, also shout out, taught me my basics of bass playing, and then in this band I basically learned music along with him.
They actually like mentored you quite in the beginning. That's actually like idea that sometimes we need to have like papers in order to be qualified to do whatever it is that we need to do. So It's really awesome to hear that you've actually made a name for yourself, which started as a mentorship. Is if you really wanted to get into something, or if something is actually meant for you, it will materialize and the way will be made for you.
Correct.
Sorry.
It was meant to be. It was also like a community. Everyone's parents are involved. Everyone's parents knew of each other. Everyone knew where we were at all times.
Yeah.
Again, it was also a very safe place.
Yeah.
Band sort of solidified my love for music, and from the name Dementophobia, we did make a bit of a change to Only When It Rains. It was a better fit for the genre, it was a better fit for the people. By the time that we changed to Only When It Rains, I was now out of school, 19 and 20 years old.
Yeah, you had matured already,
yes,
and your
but
style starts to change.
Exactly, so now the edginess per se is now gone, and we're starting to like grow into ourselves a lot.
Yeah. Why did the band disband?
It wasn't necessarily any animosity. I think at the time when the band disbanded, really it was everyone is in a position in their life where the band couldn't really exist.
Okay.
And funny enough, it happened for everyone at the same time. Where
I actually get goosebumps. So it's actually so awesome to hear, like, even early on in your career, you've worked with really collaborative people actually, and like to be walking away sort of on good terms is amazing. It's amazing, and it really, you're quite fortunate actually getting. So are there other instruments that you play?
So, not really. I just don't have the skill all the time. I do have like a little bit of piano skill, a little bit of guitar skill, and I have an understanding of the instruments. I just don't know how to play them.
Okay, so bass is like your...
That's my instrument.
Do you have any like goals to maybe learn a different instrument?
Before I get too old, before I lose the ability to move, whatever the case is, I need to learn how to play drums.
You guys hear it, eh? Funny enough, I actually, when I was younger, I started playing drums and I loved it so much, and I ended up leaving it because I had like other things. But I will say, I am so spate, and I should also go back to it sometime.
Okay, so then we'll make a deal, right? Okay.
Deal? We're both gonna learn to play the drums.
Yes.
Deal. I would love to know about like a personal characteristic that you've overcome, like compared to when you were young and then where you are now.
Oh, this is deep.
I'm telling you, I told you we were gonna get serious.
Funny enough, a lot of people don't know this about me, and if I cry on camera, guys.
I've got tissues and wet wipes.
So this is a trap, actually.
Never. You entered willingly.
It's a safe room.
Yeah.
It's a safe room.
Yeah.
But I actually have like spots of anger. Like I really struggle with anger management, and a lot of people think like,
no way.
I think because you come across as a very composed person, but I know myself that actually takes a lot of work, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah, still not to a place where I would like it, but it's a lot better than it was. I'm very proud of the progress I've made. I've had to tell certain people like, sorry man, you don't have a place in my life anymore, because I feel like
you're not actually respecting my efforts to become a better person.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's a bit of a sad thing, but it's also somewhat empowering. It's just taking a stand and saying, I know this is not a good quality I have, or a good trait that belongs to me, but I'm working on it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You're taking responsibility actually for working on that by saying, okay, I'm not totally over all these triggers, but okay, this is what triggers me, and letting people know you're doing your part. And then we start to learn like how to see where other people are actually meeting us.
Correct.
And that, I must say, is difficult. It's difficult to put boundaries in place, especially when it comes to like people that you love or that you care about, or maybe people you want to collaborate with as well.
Exactly.
And if they're not willing to meet you there, you have to like
100%.
So well done to you for doing that and for sharing that with us, because I know that was quite a vulnerable thing to share, so thank you. I wanted to say something, but now it like completely flew out of my mind, so never mind, we're just gonna move on now to the next part. In South Africa, what I love about it is that we obviously a rainbow nation. I mean, just you and me sitting here is a perfect example of like how South African culture is filled with interesting people, and there's quite a few icons in South Africa. One, our highlight actually being Nelson Mandela, who is an icon of freedom and reconciliation and like a testament to the human spirit. And then another example that we have that's living still is like Elon Musk, who is an icon of like business development, entrepreneurship, and innovation, even if it's sometimes a bit controversial. With that being said, what does being an icon mean to you?
I think it's influence to create change, to enable growth. Just have people have the drive to look at you and be like, I want to accomplish similar or better. Show that either they've done the hard work, gone through the trenches to be able to be where they are. Whether, for example, in Elon Musk, who, like you say, even though controversial, he's taken his own privilege and created something else with it. You have people that don't have the privilege and created something of their own.
Such as Nelson Mandela, who came from actually a lot of discrimination and was labeled a terrorist and all of these 100%. Things, but had actually good values that ended up changing the course of South Africa forever.
Exactly.
So, do you consider yourself an icon? Or do you aspire to be one?
Oh, I don't know if this is egotistic to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think I already am. Honestly.
Oh yes.
I would agree. That was the right answer. If there ever was one.
And I didn't realize I was that guy, where I have a lot of people coming to me for advice.
How does it feel actually to be in a position to actively start guiding people who are actually coming to you for
It's guidance? A privilege. It's really such a privilege. It's a privilege and it's an honor that people are willing to trust me and trust my knowledge. And I'll always do my best to try lead people in a way that they don't have to go through what a lot of us have gone through in the music industry. Yeah. To look out for the type of traits that you shouldn't be working with, especially in the alternative community. We're currently creating such a positive and very collaborative scene at the moment where we don't have space for the negative people and snakes per se.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's really an honor, and I will always do my best to try to help everyone in the scene as much as I can.
Bless, that's so awesome. So first of all, we're going to say thank you to Bembom Wonderboom right here in Pretoria for setting up our beautiful platters for us. Thank you to you guys. And obviously, a very big thank you to Waterplaas Klerksdorp for sponsoring our water today.
Very good water.
You guys heard it. You heard it now from the celebrity here. Big thank you to Blueberry Kiss magazine for collaborating on this project and also giving us an opportunity to further influence the alt community and create a positive impact. So I just want to give you an opportunity to tell our audience about your next upcoming show. Definitely be linking their socials for you guys in the description so that you guys can check out their main pages and get tickets if you are anywhere nearby.
Our next show is Emo Night in May. It's ourselves and a few other bands. Raptor Baby, I know it's on the lineup as well. The guys from Worms were on the bill but had to pull out. I hope everything's okay. Would have loved to play the show with you guys. Next one is at Hot Sticks Pretoria.
It's local for anybody that's in Gauteng. And then everybody who's in the surrounding provinces. Definitely a 2-hour trip is not far, guys, so make your presence known. So next up we've got some questions directly from the owner of Blueberry Kiss magazine.
Okay.
So what value do you actually think the alt community can bring to the non-alt community in South Africa?
This is actually quite an interesting question. There's a big sense of community in the alternative community.
I've definitely noticed since I've started to embrace my alt side more, I've actually sort of been more warmly embraced, is the way I want to put it, that compared to like obviously growing up. So
I think because of the alternative scene being alternative, it's a lot of the kids that never really fit in. I say kids as everyone because that's generally where we found our love for the alternative space. It was people that thought differently, a really majority. whether it was people being bullied for it or people just not agreeing with them. In the alternative space, they tend to find people that seem to think and feel and have the same similar life experiences. And I think a lot of the music being very angry, very hard, very fast, I explain it as controlled chaos. Whereas that's where we're able to release all these negative emotions, all these negative memories, and create something even more positive. And that's why I say it's that sense of community. I know my neighbor sort of thing. Whereas I don't think we know our neighbors anymore in general life. I grew up in a predominantly English and Afrikaans area, but we've always known our neighbors.
As a summary of like everything that we've said, the old community, or at least you growing up in it, has obviously shown that individuality is important, and the old community does represent to non-old community that there is a place for everybody. As long as we're respectful and stuff, guys, we're not going to go and do illegal things, okay? But you know, being able to express yourself, even if we dress a bit different, or even if our interests are a bit different, you know, compared. And I think it helped, like through that you are showing that even though you've lived an alt life, you were able to show the non-alt community there's value in actually supporting that and learning from that, which creates further sense of community, security, and promoting individuality and like your individual path. So as somebody who actually acts as a role model for these upcoming artists, what is a piece of advice you would like to give?
Stand your ground. If you don't stand your ground, people are going to trample you, to take advantage of you. They're going to make it a habit.
Those partnerships that promise exposure, but no real exchange or appreciation for your art.
A prominent example is that come play a show at so-and-so venue. It's a free show. Why are we playing for free? Petrol isn't free. My gear isn't free. Even the event is not being sold for free. Okay, there are things like venue hires and so on. You have to pay sound people, sound equipment and so on. You can't constantly go into the same place, to the same promoter or the same venue owner playing for free.
Obviously, that's not to say, like, guys, remember in the beginning, any business, there is a period where you have to sell yourself a little bit, but you have to know your value. Number one, you have to know your value. You have to know where you're heading, and you have to stand on that and make sure that in your own mind you have like your plan or where you're willing to sacrifice or give things for free, and where you're going to have to start making sure that you're being compensated for that so that you can go forward. Would you have given this advice to yourself when you were younger?
I personally didn't feel like this when I was younger. So I had someone that played that role, which was Alicia, actually.
Actually quite fortunate to have like a
someone, someone to look.
Who was already giving you advice.
Exactly.
Like, what are the challenges that you have faced throughout your career as a result of discrimination, and how did you navigate it?
So back in the day when I was a teenager, the racism was very blatant. And like they would literally say, you play guitar well for him, you know? Like, and meaning it as a compliment. I was thinking about this like recently, and I was like, man, that was wild actually. But, like, I'm 17, 18 years old. Like, to me, I think it kind of went over my head at the time.
So how you dealt with that was you just didn't actually even respond to it.
Yeah, I don't think I even really registered what had just happened. Slowly but surely, it's gotten so much better. One thing I do think that we need to take note of is it's not necessarily discrimination with regards to race. I think it's the sense of privilege that we have. People forget that there are other areas and people that could be involved and interested within the alternative community and alt music and the alt scene, but we're just not making tracks to penetrate those markets per se. We're not making any tracks to assist those people in making it normal in their communities. And I think it could change a lot for a lot of people, you know. Different people, everyone is different in some way or another, but being that different kid, I think can happen anywhere.
This is what I always say, like, you know, people always are quick to say, you know, we have the internet, you've got everything at your fingertips, but at the same time, you are limited to your own perception of your world and your interests. The internet is going to show you what you search for. If you're not opening yourself up to be interested or at least hear about other spaces, you're never going to see that, and then that can obviously perpetuate like a sense of judgment or prejudice or discrimination
100%.
because you are used to this, like this is what you know. So pigging back off how the alt community can influence non-alt community is again to act as a symbol to remind people there are other worlds out there that function well,
Correct,
despite it being vastly different or even slightly different than what you may know as an individual. And how, if at all, do you think established artists can better support upcoming artists?
I think tips, giving people advices also has nuance to it, right?
Yeah.
Also depends on where do you want to be. For me, the best thing would be for other established artists is find one other artist that's very similar to you and like kind of grab them and put them under your wing.
Yeah.
So that they can do the same for a similar artist. With pop artists, if it's the same type of sound, I think it would be really cool to do that.
And at the same time, you're becoming better skilled at what you already do. It's actually very good advice. You sort of like stick to what you know and teach that.
They didn't grow up in my era or they weren't active in my era because I'm able to teach them and they're teaching me while I teach them.
Say one of my favorite characteristics, which is vital in anyone that actually works with me, is to be teachable, to remain humble and to never feel like, I always say like also, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong. She says, thank you for your time. I wish you all the best with your career in the alt music scene in South Africa, and I look forward to featuring you in the next issue of Blueberry Kiss magazine. With love, Blueberry Kiss. So I just had to share that with you because I was so adding the link to the magazine also in the description, just for anyone that's wondering about that. So we're getting close to finishing, which is a little bit sad.
That's actually kind of sad. I've been enjoying this a lot.
So cool. Do you believe in fortune telling?
Oh, there's been many situations now where I'll make a joke or something and that exact joke or that exact situation happens. Or if you ever hear me shouting, I'm a Sangoma for real, it's because earlier that day, I literally like said something that was exactly or very like 80%. Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so you're starting to be a little bit more open to
100%,
so that's quite cool. Which is very exciting to hear because you're obviously on the right path. Those things only start to happen when we're coming into alignment of like what we're supposed to be doing and where we're supposed to be going and the influence that we're supposed to be making. Then you start to feel upgrades is like what I call it. So that's amazing. Amazing for you. Okay, so just for fun, nothing serious, we're going to play a fortune telling game.
Okay.
You're going to pick a crystal.
Okay.
And then you're going to throw some dice for your lucky number.
Okay.
Okay. You can take as many as you like. And then throw your number over there.
Let's do 3.
Oops. So we've got 2, 3, and 6. 36. You're going to pick your crystal.
Just one.
Just one. Now, this is a smoky quartz. This is my absolute favorite crystal. Oh, I have a surprise for you. Well, for me actually, but like for you also. So these photos are taken by Jean van Vieren at the picnic club where I met Katie. We would like to list for our viewers. It will be listed in my Etsy shop, which I will also add the description for. I want to know if you would sign these for me. Thank you so much for that. And then these is to commemorate our time together. And one we will have for our audience also listed in the shop. Oh, nee, sy's klaar. I'm also going to sign it, so you'll have my signature too. And I just have some bonus questions, just for fun. Okay. What is an item you own that you are most proud that you own, other than your guitars?
It's actually, it's like a nice little art piece. One of my favorite animes, Naruto.
Then, what is the best piece of advice a woman has ever given you?
like a sort of like a one shot. It was just like, you don't have to answer everything right now. If you don't know, say you don't know.
Yeah.
I'll go find out, and actually make the effort to do so, because at the end of the day, you're going to learn something, and that person gets the piece of advice or piece of information that they needed or requested from you.
Yeah. Same time, it also stops you from like word vomit. You end up actually sort of making yourself look like a zip.
Another piece of advice that I've received, and it started off as a music thing. It was, don't hear, listen. Firstly, for a music thing or music perspective, the whole band is off. Why are you playing the right time? Bring yourself back or rush forward to accommodate for the rest of the band, because now you're actually listening. And now you adapt so that the whole band now sounds right. So I've also started to realize that in my personal life, take a moment for when someone tells you something. Hey, I'm having a bad day. Don't just say, oh yeah, we all have bad days. Because now you just heard what they said, you didn't listen.
Yeah. Search for that connection. Sometimes what can happen, I don't really want to ask them because it's going to feel like I don't know what to say, or I don't really have the capacity to listen right now, or you know. And at the end of the day, I think it costs nothing just to ask, because like you say, you've now given that person a moment to be heard. You can choose whether you want to take it upon yourself, give advice, or just be quiet. And something I've noticed a lot is that there's a lot of value in silence and being silent, and just actually, like you say, listening. And that's sometimes all that people need. Kudos to whoever gave you that advice, and kudos to you for taking it and actually shifting it to apply in different situations. I think, first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching and that's actually here, because you make a reason for me to sit here and interview amazing, interesting people. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's really so lovely to sit here and converse with you, and I've gained a lot from this, not just all the excitement, but just feeling connected. And even in myself, I feel heard and I feel seen and I feel like I have a place. So thank you for that. Thank you to Blueberry Kiss Magazine. Thank you to my girl there behind the camera who is helping. I will be at Misty Waters Music Festival with my curios and my bottles and things like that. If anybody's interested to come and check me out, to come support my shop, please do so. Remember to check out No Closure's upcoming show in May. Bye, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.